Hello, welcome back to the channel. How are we? Okay, please like, please share, and please subscribe to the channel. There's lots of you watching these videos at the moment, and I'd appreciate if you would subscribe to the channel. It would more than please me that. Okay, this one is the pre-match warm-up for Liverpool Qarabag in the Champions League final group game, match day 8. Okay, let's look at Qarabag, shall we? They play in the Azerbaijan Premier League. They currently lie second in that league, and no doubt they will qualify for the Champions League again in next season. Let's have a look at the last 7 games in the Champions League this season. Away to Benfica, 1-3-2. Next game was at home to Copenhagen, 1-2-0. So picking up 6 points in the first 2 games. Then they went away to Athletic Bilbao and they lost that one 3-1. They were at home then to Chelsea and drew 2-2. And they were away to Napoli, lost that one 2-0. And then they were home to Ajax, lost that one 4-2 at home. And the last week they played Eintracht and they won that 3-2. So played 7, won 3, drawn 1, lost 3, scored 13, conceded 15 on -2 goals. They've got 10 points. They lie 18th currently in the Champions League table. A very, very slim chance of getting into the top 8 results, and they'd have to score lots of goals against us to get into there. But however, they could possibly drop out the 24, couldn't they? Because teams 25, Napoli in 26, Copenhagen, they're on 8 points, and they win their games, they could overtake Qarabag and above Napoli, 24th Olympiacos, Athletic Bilbao, PSV, Monaco, Leverkusen, and Marseille. Look, if we win, we could get any of those teams, in the sort of like knockout stage in March. So, yeah. Yeah, so that's the table. It's very, very tight and very close in there. Look, let's not underestimate this team. They're experienced Champions League team. They've been in the Champions League for quite a few seasons. They play on the front foot, and from minute one, and those games that I've just read out, their setup was 4-2-3-1. But I've watched those games, or the tidbit to those games, the 5, 6, 7 minutes of those games. They play more of a 4-3-3. They have abundance of pace in that team, and they're very good at counter-attacking. They'll win their individual battles, and when they get to pick up the ball, they will run with it. They'll shoot from distance. When the ball's out wide, they will flood the box with players. They can play long balls. They like to play the football on the ground. So when in and around the box, they will look to pass on the floor and a bit of trickery and get the shots off. So Liverpool, they will have to concentrate for 90 plus minutes. Mentally, they have to be good for 90 plus minutes at home. So Jeremy Frimpong did the player part of the conference, and I said to you before, guys, I don't normally listen to the players, bypass them and go straight on to what the head coach has to say. But Jeremy Frimpong was interesting today. He said he's happy where he is right now. He's a Manchester lad, he said. I don't know why he had to say that. And he said that the Bundesliga, the Premier League is a lot harder than the Bundesliga. He said teams at the bottom can beat teams at the top. And he said it's very difficult. He was asked, is he disappointed about where we are in the Premier League table? He says that's football, and sometimes it happens in football. He said champions will always be knocked down, and that's what it is. He said he said, look, I'm happy we're still in the FA Cup and we're still in the Champions League, and yeah. So he was asked about the game on Saturday. He said it was very frustrating to lose like that on Saturday from a set piece. We were sloppy there, last minute goal. He said you can be angry after the game, but he said the day after, you have to start concentrating on the next game, and we've been concentrating on Qarabag. He said I've played against them when he was in when he played for Leverkusen, and he said they are Champions League quality, and that's for sure. So yeah, on Slot then came on. He said no Gomez available. He's got a hip injury, and he said he'll be back soon. He won't be back soon. It's Joey Gomez. We know when Joey Gomez gets an injury, it goes on forever. So he said he spoke to Ibu Kanate. He said he's having a hard time. He's not going to be available tomorrow, but he hopes he can have him back soon. So Ibu going through a lot with the loss of his father. He was asked about Robbo. He said, I'm happy to have Robbo in the team. He said, I can't say if he stays, but yes, at the moment he's staying. But I can't give you anything further on that. So obviously things are still ongoing in the background with Robbo. It's not. I said it. I've not heard anything from Liverpool about that. The deal is off. I think the deal's still on there and it's still on the table. He's got an 18. He's been offered an 18-month contract at Tottenham, and he's not going to turn that down. He's not. Then he was asked. Well, he mentioned it. He said it is impossible to shut down the noise from the games that the game that we lost at the weekend. And he said because Liverpool are now not competing for the league as a bigger club that it is. He said we are conceding goals. Teams are arriving in our box and taking their chances, whereas the other end, we need to be better and we need to be taking ours. Yes, it's true. We do need to be taking our chances. We need to be good at that. But just an excuse for me. He said, we're happy we're fourth in the Champions League. We were happy when we were fourth in the Premier League. But he said we have struggled, and we've struggled after Champions League games. In the Bournemouth, lots of my players were tired in the last 10 minutes, and that's why I made the early substitutions. He said, people, again, will be saying outside I should have played Ekatike, but for me, I have to manage him. And just like I did with Jeremy Frimpong when I took him off, he said, I can give you multiple times where players have got injured when it's been an overload. And it's a hard balancing act. Now, I have to adopt, like putting players in different positions. I know people won't understand that, but I make the decisions on what I see. People will say about, I've been told by the sports science staff, better of a word, that somebody's struggling. But he said, I see the struggles when I see them face to face. So there you go. He thinks his team's struggling mentally and physically by the sounds of things. He said, I've had a conversation today where I've disappointed a few people who wanted to play tomorrow. I'm not so sure who would have been disappointed in that. Is he going to pick a weird selection of a team? He said last season, he was asked about the squad, that is it too small, where last season he had two more players. He said, I won't answer that here. which was another interesting thing. Um, he mentioned about PSG last season getting beat by them. They could have, after being top of the league and getting them in, it's an excuse. I'm not buying that. We should have beaten them, and we didn't. He asked about Qarabag, said they're a very direct team with runners from behind. They've shown against the big clubs. They have done well against them, but we have played a lot tougher games in the Champs League. Really, I hope this is not you giving up on this tie tomorrow, because we need to win it. He gave credit to Van Dijk to do another 90 minutes. He says that's the only available centre half I have. So, yeah, I don't disagree with him about that, but he needs to show up, doesn't it? It's going to be windy conditions again tomorrow, and it is Anfield, and I'm not having any silly excuses from him. He was asked by a Hungarian journalist, what did you talk to Slobosly and Milas Kirkus about before the rest of the team came out? He said it was general chit chat and what they're going to do tomorrow. He said, "Are you going to put?" He was asked again, "Are you going to put Dom Slobosly right back?" And his answer to that was, "Me and Dom Slobosly have spoken, and we both agree that his best position is in midfield." He said, "I have other players as well who can play in that right back position as Frimpong and Jones." So there you have it. My team. Interesting, looking at what's going to happen. I would put, obviously, Ali in goals. If he wants to put Curtis Jones right back, put him right back. We need to get our best. We need to match them pace for pace tomorrow. Some of our players, especially at the top end of the pitch, don't do the defending, i.e. Gakpo and Salah. So put Curtis in there. Put Ryan with Virgil at the back. Centre halves. Put Kirkes on the left-hand side. Robbo hasn't got his pace to do the recovery runs, although he's got the experience. We need to win this game. Midfield, Dom Slobosly, Maka, and I would possibly throw Verts in there. And up front, I'd have Frimpong on the right, Ekatike in the middle, and do you know what? He's going to pick Gakpo, isn't he? Because that's his get-go. He's having an awful season. I'd try Chiesa and then bring Gakpo on, and see if Chiesa's fit. It's not a team that I would go for there, but you can't be playing Mo Salah in this game. You're probably shouting at me and saying he's going to turn the corner. He's not going to turn the corner. He's finished. And, we have to accept that. He's struggling in the Premier League, and, he's struggling the Champions League games as well. So that's the team I would go for. And options are limited from the bench. You'll probably have two goalkeepers as subs. I didn't Naoni, Ungamoa, like I say, Gakpo, if it was for me, and I'm struggling, struggling Robbo, and that would be it, So yeah, look, we need the 3 points. It will be a disaster, and I mean a disaster, if we have to play 2 extra games around the FA Cup and the 5 league games next month. An absolute disaster for this club, and it would take us further away from getting into. It's now becoming top 4, top 5. People are talking about it be horrendous for this club to be in the Europa League next season. Why should it? It's Thursday and Sunday football. We'd have to get used to it. Yes, we go all over the place in that tournament, but we've only ourselves to blame. Nobody else. Only ourselves to blame there. and it is what it is, and it's a competition there to be won. If that means that we miss a season out on the Champions League, we miss a season out on the Champions League, but hopefully we would, and it doesn't mean that we won't get the players, because it would all boil down to who is the new head coach at Liverpool. So that will be my team. I will do a post-match on Thursday, the fallout from the game. Hopefully the guys that are going to Anfield get behind the team, because they might need us tomorrow and make it a Champions League night, because it is imperative that we qualify and miss out on the 2 games in February and just get to the knockouts in March. Let me know what you think, guys. Send me a comment. It would be nice, and let's hope that Liverpool get the job done. Okay, that's enough from me. Enjoy your Tuesday evening, and I will speak to you on Thursday. Up the Reds.